friends, welcome back to a story with me today. The name of today's story is Hudson Hates School, written by Ella Hudson. So she used her last name to give him a first name, it sounds like, which is pretty neat. So Hudson loves making things. He liked painting pictures and building models and baking cakes. He even likes sewing too. But there was one thing that Hudson really hated, and that was school. I hate school. Come on, Hudson. He doesn't want to go, does he? It was Friday morning, and Hudson remembered why he had especially not wanted to go to school that day. Spelling test today, Hudson. Hudson had not learnt his spellings. Oh no, he's thinking. Miss French read out the words, and Hudson felt his heart sink. The other children at his desk started to snigger, which is a neat word for snicker or laugh quietly. Ha ha, Hudson can't spell. I can't do this. Am I stupid? Next they had to swap books and mark each other's spellings. This was what Hudson had been dreading the most of all. The bell sounded and it was break time. Well done, everyone, said Miss French. Now when I read out your name, shout out your score and you can go outside and play. It came to Hudson's turn and everyone started to giggle. Hudson, it looks like you need some practice with your spellings. Please stay in with me at playtime for some help. For yet another Friday break time, Hudson was sitting inside writing out his spellings. I hate school. When he saw his mom at the gate, Hudson just couldn't hold in his tears any longer. I am never going back to school, ever again. On the way home, Hudson told his mom about his horrible day and how he dreaded school. When they got home, the phone rang and it was Miss French. And he's thinking, oh no, am I in trouble? Hello, Miss French. The following Monday at school, a man came into the classroom with Miss French. He had a briefcase and was wearing a lizard tie. Hudson, this is Mr. Shepherd. He's going to take you into the study room and give you a quick test. Hudson had had enough. No more tests. When Hudson had calmed down, he and Mr. Chaplin went into the study room. This is a different kind of test, Hudson, he explained Mr. Chaplin. You won't be in trouble because there are no right or wrong answers. So Mr. Chaplin showed Hudson a series of pictures and asked him what he thought was missing from each of them. He had some funny shaped triangle blocks, and he asked Hudson to make patterns with them. Mr. Chaplin also recorded Hudson's results on a machine. Well, this isn't so bad, Hudson's thinking. The test wasn't bad at all. In fact, it was a better test than any Hudson had ever had before. Mr. Chaplin explained to Hudson why he found it hard to learn as quickly as his classmates. It was because he had a learning difficulty called dyslexia. Dyslexia affects people differently. Often they tend to be way more creative than other people. So this is Mr. Chaplin's brain. People that do not have dyslexia use the left side of their brain for sorting out words and numbers. They use the right side of their brain for creative things like drawing and making things. They may find learning easier than people with dyslexia because their brain tends to use each side kind of equally. Now this is Hudson's brain. People with dyslexia don't balance the work between both sides of the brain. They use the right side of their brain for sorting out words and numbers. They may find all of those things difficult because their brains have to work up to 6 times harder than someone without dyslexia. A week later, the school arranged for Hudson to have some of his lessons in a different classroom. The other children there also had dyslexia. For these lessons, they had a new teacher who had lots of fun and exciting ways to help them learn. Soon Hudson's homework really improved, and at last school wasn't something that Hudson hated. He actually began to quite like it, which is true. Hi, Hudson, the kids are saying. Hi. So you may be one of those kids that hates school because you find learning difficult too, or certain parts of learning difficult, but maybe have a super creative brain and could do all kinds of things like Hudson could do. You may also be one of those kids that have been taken out of class to do some of the special testing like Hudson did to find out how your brain works and if it needs a different way of being taught to do better at school. So if you are having a hard time at school, I want you to know that you're not alone, and I want you to know that there are ways that the grown-ups at school can help you with these testing things, and maybe with a different classroom with a teacher who's just having you learn things in a different way than in the regular classroom. And it's nothing to be worried about, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just different students have different ways of learning, and the adults in your life want to make sure that you are learning the best way that you can learn. All right. So hopefully you are getting some help at school if you need it. If you're not, you might want to talk to your mom or your teacher. And I will look forward, or your dad, or your sister, or your aunt, or whoever takes care of you. And I will look forward to seeing you for our next story.